Christianity is one of the very interesting religion. We have one common ground, which is the Bible. We've got one book of life that is uniting us, which is the Word of God. What is interesting is that the same Bible is interpreted by different pastors, apostles, bishops, scholars, anyone, believers, anyone you want to say. As a result, we've got multiple and different doctrines as believers. The truth of the matter is Christianity and Jesus. So we started the Power Hour, not because we wanted to create a division, but we wanted to encourage engagement for people to sit in the one platform and discuss what I think this is how we should worship God, and I think this is how we should be living as Christians. A clean gospel is to show the world, in as much as we've got multiple doctrines or different doctrines, or the clean gospel just grant our Christ. That is why sometimes we turn stones and it's just be uncomfortable. At the end of the day, you see us having tea together because what is grounding us is Christ. So I want you to understand as you watch the show, the purpose of the show is to encourage dialogue, create a good spirit amongst believers, and make sure these doctrines that we are following are not divided. There's only one ground, which is the Word of God and which is. I want to tell you, we will keep on turning the stones, but we know the center is Christ. As we always say, if Christ is not in the center, Power Hour is not there. Sit back, relax, as we turn more stones. This is Power Hour. I am Pastor Zweli.
Siwahloniphe lawo ngoba obaba bethu bese kuzofika umuntu oshunyayezwe naye umlungu vele ngoba i-controversy iqala i-division iqalwa belungu. So asikwazi ukuphika lokho. Mina nje I still maintain i-position ukuthi we've got people namhlanje abakhuluma izifu indaba ama-denomination wrong, but thina we were exposed emagameni through the missionary work.
Yeah.
Zulu Lutheran Church yinto nto le.
Yeah, let me say something, Dokotela. Ngiyayizwa lento oyikhulumayo.
Yeah.
Futhi angiyiphiki.
Yeah.
But looking from another position.
Yeah.
Ngime kwenye indawo. Perhaps denominations, yes, they started the way that you are explaining, yeah, which is correct.
Well, singathi mhlambe nongifuna ukuthi sibe clear ukuthi once kwakhona i-Protestant njoba uMartin Luther 31 October 1517 a protester against the Roman Catholic Church, that is where the denomination started.
Yes. No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
That is not completely the core, because knowledge denominationalism is evolving beyond the names. For example, nge-influence ekhona njengamanje asengibekise njengento ejwayelekile lapha eMelika kuno Noel Jones, kuno TD Jakes, angithi sebangakhe abefundisi la eAfrica
asebefana nabo,
asebeshumayela nabo. It's not name now, it is more factional or sectorial. Almost. We have a Word of Faith movement, different names but same philosophy. Word of Faith movement. We are a prophetic church, different names but same philosophy. So ngifuna ukuhlehla perhaps from the total concept yokuthi the white people have done this. What I think, this is just my viewpoint from this side, it is more of what influence pushed you. Uyabona umuntu mangabe ephume faith mission, uyathanda abahlobo amabaningi base faith mission sebaphume faith mission. Lo muntu seyini igama lesonto, House of Life, kodwa kuno Apostolic Faith Mission.
Yes.
But the church has got its own name, it's registered in its own name, but it's still affiliating from where they come from. So before umuntu bekezothi Zulu Congregational Church, because they are affiliating from where they come from, wonke umuntu ufuna i-validation la ephuma khona. Now I want us to be mindful so that we don't get caught up in the apartheid mindset of religious imposition. Ukuthi ngoba belungu bafika benza nje. I think it is just what I would call knowledge privilege. You know, ukuthi labantu baba nolwazi kuqala kunathi.
Obani laba bantu?
No, hold on.
Angithi ama-white missionaries.
I agree with you. Yeah, asiphikisana.
Ufuna lolivese lelo ungalibaleki.
No, angilibalekele. Siyavumelana. Ngithi memalandela into yama-denominations has evolved. Wonke umuntu ubefaka isonto lakhe akhombe la eqhamuka khona njengoba echaza uDokotela uJiyane. But if us understand ukuthi lento iya ngokushintsha. Ngibe kusengomuntu ukuthi so unesonto lakhe kodwa uyi-affiliate yase Faith Mission. Kodwa lesonto line identity yalo. Manje sekube nenye shift ekhona eyenza ukuthi manje le denominationalism ihluke ngendlela ehlukile. It's a new way. For example nje ngizobekisa khona amasonto anamagama ahlukile. But intshumayelo zawo kufundiswa ngombuso kaNkulunkulu. The kingdom is the emphasis. Amanye amasonto it's a word of faith movement. Khulunywa kakhulu ngefaith, ngokukholwa. Now we have a new stronger movement. Nothing very new but everyone now bebangakhi nje abantu mawuthi uhamba kunebafundisi wethu prophet so and so. It's a movement. Some of the movements they are a revival of the past. For example, the movement of bishops and archbishops from the Catholic Church moving to the Pentecostal to the charismatic church. Together nokugqoka ingubo zethu. Uyayizwa lento engisho. So I'm saying ngimuzwile uDokotela ekhuluma ukuthi abantu abamhlophe this is how they conquered. And I think ukuthi it's not so much about their whiteness. It is so much the advantage of their knowledge. Ukuthi bathola iBhayibheli icala. Base belisebenzisa ukusicindezela. Hayi ngoba bemhlophe but ngoba belithola ecala. Uyayizwa lento ngisho. And manje we are seeing a very different change. Uyazi manje ngiyathusa. Ngaya esontweni lase Faith Mission ngathi ngisesontweni eMelika. Ngisho niqula ngayo niqulwa njengamamelika nama-instrument onke asemelika. Ayisekho insimbi nalento eshaya izandla. Uyayizwa lento ngisho. So it's an evolution of denominationalism. We are becoming more factional by doctrinal and practice emphasis than name. So we shouldn't make that a big thing. Kune revival manje engingathi phecelezi the revival of African Christianity. Kuyanda manje ukushumayela nokufaka isintu. Akusinto eqala namhlanje njengomageja. Lento eyaqalwa obaba kuJob Chilizi uzothi African Gospel Church. They are taking an American concept. They want to put Africanism. But theology was relatively the same. But lento seyikhulile seyine migration. Manje it's becoming more and more fashionable ukuthi ungayikholwa wenze izinto zesintu.
But ngicela ukubuza mhlawumbe lo mbuzo nakwena Dokotela ungabheka nakwena. Uma ufunda ichurch history nje akabalo babuchiliza akabalo. Is it not, are we not to blame for that? Ukuthi a theologian in South Africa would do church history as a subject and graduate at the university. Engazange kukhulunywe.
Afunda ngoJohn Knox.
Akazi lutho ngoNtanzi.
Baba uZachariah Ntanzi.
uNtanzi akamazi. And uzozwa kancane mhlambe ngoJohn Chiliki bese iyanqamuka emva kaloko. Uma ngabe lo mlungu onifundisayo la university enenhliziyo enhlana uzombala uRichard ngida mbale uNicholas nakhona umbala in passing akekho ngisho kuma notes umbala nje in passing bese siyajabula ukuthi bayavela. But yes, ngiyavuma ukuthi a lot of these things were influenced by colonialism ne oppression. Mbuzo wami thina as African scholars, why are we not publishing or influencing the curriculum and creating content esebenzisekayo? That's my first question. And second question ngifuna uphendule kanyanye ukuthi to show ukuthi sisabambekile. We've made an example, so besibuyele kuyona, but we made an example ukuthi ubaba the original founder yakwaShembe yafaka isigqoko umlungu. You understand? Nanamhlanje sisafakwa umlungu. There are a number of things that we do. I mean, I can even take you to isintu ukuthi angikholwa mina ukuthi kubeka ushaka kwakhona umfundisi, but ubekhona umfundisi kubeka inkosi yakaZulu. In everything that we do, we want an endorsement. Leyanto bekuyinto esiZulu kodwa sifuna ukuyifaka isinkonzo inkonzo futhi engesona isAfrica eyisilungu imjiva yike Africa. So we believe ukuthi into yethu is authentic. The function was about giving a certificate. Nakhona nginayisho ukuthi ukhona yini kwi-culture yethu ukuthi kukhishwe certificate because nakhona eyenziwe nge-operation ukuthi umlungu wayefuna ukukhombisa ukuthi ungaphezulu kwenkosi by giving a certificate. We continue with those things, yet asikho oppressed. Yes, I can blame the past, but manje lento ade siyenza manje lapha eMabhida siyenza sekuphethe thina. Kodwa still isalandela the same method. I watched the video when the late king inikwe certificate, it was the same thing. Isaphinde sayifaka nesili yabazalwana abafaka imjiva. Now the question is, yes, we can blame the past, but what are we doing? Lamagama okhuluma ngawo o-African gospel, there's no way ukuthi lento enikhulumayo abayazi abantu base-African gospel. At least the name should have changed. At least. Igama ngabe selishintshile labizwa njengelinye igama eli-related to us. We still keep the same name. Asifani nabantu abasebevuleliwe njengolamthuthu abavulelwe ehokeni bangaphuma kodwa ngoba sebehlale kakhulu. I don't know what to take.
Well, I think to respond to your first question about writings about the African icons or apostles or Baba Bethu or base Africa. Well, mina ngibuka ukuthi mhlambe we are still healing kuma with damage eyenziwe i-apartheid system. Yeah, njoba usho nje ukuthi we've got rich history, but kuma theological institution kufundiswa kakhulu church history.
Yes.
The Roman Catholic Church, Martin Luther, John Calvin, John Knox. Bonke laba bantu siyabazi ngamagama. You can name them. Or John Wesley and his brother Charles Wesley. But when it comes to in our African history, people like Nehemiah Tyler, owaqala iBathembu Church, sikhulume ngobaba Ignas Barnabas olekhanyana waqala iZion Christian Church. Sibuye sokhuluma ubaba Isaiah Mudlwamafa Mloyisa Shembe, was born 1870 and died 2nd May 1935, and after his son ubaba uJohannes Galile Shembe owaziwa ukuthiwa ilanga lamalanga, wazalwa ngo 27 July 1904, and he died on 19 December 1976. So we must go further. History of years 1977 there was a split ebandleni labaNazaretha ngo-October. Uma kusekuthatha umfowabo uAmos Khula Shembe waziwa ngenyanga yezulu. So there was a split ebandleni. So ngizama ukuthi that is a history which is, we are rich in history, but I think we're still healing to come with this since decolonize ukuthi akuyona history yabelungu right. Akuyona history yasentshonalanga right.
Yeah.
Namhlanje we are saying in Middle East ikwelinye izwe, uIsrael kwelinye izwe. But if you look at the map, Israel is closer than Africa.
Yeah.
But Madagascar is far away. Ulwandle mawe yakhona kodwa kuthiwa iphatha seAfrica.
Yeah, true.
Why bathatha iPalestine bethatha iMiddle East? Because kuyazi ukuthi umnotho weBhayibheli nokuceba kwakula eAfrica. Uma kuthi uJesu wabalekisele eAfrica, ufelo izalwe eAfrica wathathwa eEgypt eKemet. Yeah. So ngifuna ukuveza ke mina ukuthi the history is very important. Leto kama denominations ngeke siyibalekele. Kodwa mina ngisekuthenini we are also guilty for not exposing Baba Bethu. Babu Nicholas Payne, I think was on 19 September 1909, lying to Meneshowe. And he was shaped by the Lutheran missionaries. We grew up corner. Ubaba always started ngikhuluma ngayo ubaba uAmos Shembe umfowabo ngoba ibandla lahlukaniswa ukuthi owesibili wathi mayikhothama ngo 19 December 1976 wayengabekanga umuntu ukuthi ubani ozophatha. But ke well history ke leyo is another topic of another day. But ke umfowabo ke uAmos owayezalwe na ngo1906 25 September 1906 he took over. Yabo ingakho ke kuba ne division ke ngo1977 umebuye emgidweni eJudea then kwahlukana phakathi then waphuma ke wenyuka waya eMathabela esizweni senkosi yamaqadi kwakusakhona inkosi umqoqi umenkosi umzonjana ozala inkosi lebusayo manje amaqadi inkosi umqoqi ngcobo. So ke then ke that's where ibandla lasebuhlini ke it came into being. So uyabona sekunokuphakama lapha ezansi ekuphakameni sekhona phezulu ebuhleni and the many factions aphuma sinenkosi futhi umahluleli eginyezi eNyohanov ozalwa omzukulu wenkosi yesibili amaNazaretha uIlanga lamalanga naye uneyakhe faction ngale sibe nefaction manje enye phume ngo2011 ethembezile libiphethwe inkosi uVele imsebe ilanga uyabona. So we've got many factions eGoli sinenye uphakama naye uphethe khona. But ke ngifuna ukuveza ukuthi the history is very rich but ama institutions awafuni ukukhuluma iqiniso ukuthi we as Africans we can build or we can create our own history. Kesime ngoMartin Luther. Sesizwile ngoMartin Luther ukuthi ngo31 October waphuma eMaromeni 1517.
The way you are articulating this, it sounds like at some point Ushembe was in line with us. Mangithi us as in abantwana bakaNkulunkulu.
Yeah, Shembe was a Christian. Njoba ngishilo ukuthi he attended the church eWeseli. Ezinye zezihlabelo zakhe uyabona ukuthi waye ethatha ihlelo zaseWeseli. Then njoba ngisho ukuthi wabhaphatiswa eBaptist ubaba uWilliam Mathabela leshoha ngo1906. Then waseqala ibandla Nazareth Baptist Church. But let me state this kube clear because ngikhuluma lokho as an African child or African individual or respecta ibandla elaqala umuntu omnyama. UBombela isitimela samampondo umqali wendlela akakaze azibize ngoNkulunkulu.
Lokuqala
ngikhuluma ngalokuqala akakaze ayibize ngoNkulunkulu.
Umqali wani?
Umqali wendlela. The founder. Uyena waqala indlela. Mayinyuka intaba enhlangakazi eyothandaza. Uyena waqala indlela. Akakaze ayibize ngoNkulunkulu. Even sihlabelo zakhona uyibiza ngenceke, uyibiza ngehlupheki senkosi, uyibiza ngothunyiweyo. Akakaze ayibize ngoNkulunkulu.
Okay.
But abantu they are extremely now sebe diverta kwi-theology kaShembe. Ihlelo zamaNazaretha ziyakhuluma ngoJesu. Igama likaJesu ligcwele ehlabeleni zamaNazaretha. But now abantu sebethi uShembe uNkulunkulu. That is totally wrong. Ngoba asukwazi ukuthi sihlale sivumele yonto because mina as a Christian I've got a respect nebandla lamaNazaretha ngenxa yokuthi laqalwa umunye wokhokho bethu baseAfrika. Kodwa sikwazi ukuhlala bese sithi ibandla lamaNazaretha bara laba bathi uShembe uNkulunkulu enabasho nomqali wendlela basho lo wabeka ngo2011.
Lo khona
lo wabeka ngo2011 asibambe lapho nje ubekwe ngo2011 lo wabantu uNkulunkulu.
Eli kakhulu. Ufike manje eli kakhulu.
Kodwa manje is this something that sangibuza from a different perspective, is this something that is insinuated or something is said? Ngiyabuza nje ngoba khona abantu engibajwayela bamaNazaretha angake ngibezwe bathi uShembe uNkulunkulu.
No bayakusho nje and kulama fictions kukhona ifiction ekuthiwa ke Nazareth Church of God, at least the theology kaShembe is clear lapho, is clear. And I want to admire ubaba Reverend Mpanza ubizwa ukuthi uMelusi. He is clear and he's trying by all means to bring back the right theology kaShembe etholakala ihlabeleni ngoba if you want to understand.
So there is affection kaShembe labantu abasensiwe.
Noma ngokwami mhlawumbe umuntu angangichallenge ukuthi usho ukuthini bathi basindisiwe kodwa mina ngeyam perspective ngibuka leze kune revolution, transformation enkulu ngoba they stick to what Shembe taught, they stick on what Shembe believes. Bakholela ukuthi uShembe wayengumprofeti kaNkulunkulu. Bathi uShembe akazabe uNkulunkulu kodwa wayengumprofeti kaNkulunkulu. unlike laba bathi wayenkulunkulu yabo. So ngizama ukuveza ukuthi ke lento ama denominations ke izohamba sibe nenkinga mase khona izinto ezenziwayo eziphambana neqiniso, then abantu bazobambela bese belwa nama denomination. Like we've got the Roman Catholic Church. Siyazi ukuthi amakatholika, the word Catholic means universal.
Yeah.
Sibe nama Lutheran. You know igama ethi Lutheran akuthathelwe kuLuther.
Yeah.
But now uma ungathi wena Mathabela's ministry.
Yeah.
Bazolwa nawo abantu.
Bese ube Mathabelas i-tribe yaMathabela bazolwa nabantu.
Bazolwa nawo kodwa they call themselves
njengoba nilwa nenkosi
ama-Planetarians.
uyabona
Ama-Planetarians.
yeah angithi sisenayo lento ukuthi umuntu omnyama kufanele abe nento yokuphumelela noma mhlambe into yakhe ibe right, kodwa uMartin Luther sine Church of England.
Yeah.
Kodwa umnalani bafuna.
Ngiyayivuma lento esho udokotela ukuthi inkinga yethu on the paper sesikhulekile ngisho singamakhono.
Yes.
Kodwa emqondweni asikakhululeki.
Hypocrisy senenkinga.
Yeah. Uyabona nje ukuthi ungathi amanye amasonto yini bathi yini icagogwana. That is the highest form of colonization.
Yeah.
Ekufuna ukuthi sikhulu. Uyazi sinenkinga ngempela ukuthi ezinye izinto noma singavumelani nako kufuna ukuthi sikwazi ukufunda sikobserve because yonke into iyakhula. Uyabona nje ngizosho phecelezi ngidlule. Uyabona lento nje eqale umagejageja akusinto entsha.
Yeah.
Akusinto entsha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lento eqale umagejageja into bevela ikhona.
Yeah.
Kodwa lendlela ayi-expressa ngayo already that is a case study. Already that is a case study. Seyinto ekufuna ukuthi manje ibuke ifunde ukuthi kwenzakalani la. Ngoba lokuhlanganiswa kwesintu with Christianity is a growing phenomena. It's a growing phenomena. Khona izinto ezenzakalayo manje enkonzweni uzukuthi bekunenkonzo yempepho kodwa kuphethe iBhayibheli. Uyayizwa leyo nto. Into futhi izokwanda. And angifuni ukuthi sibuye ngazuthi ngesikhathi segcina uSathane usengenile. As far as from looking from an intelligent point of view, lokuthi nje sicale sathi Zulu Congregational Church, siqale sathi African Gospel Church, we were factoring in Bantuism or Ubuntu bethu to the concept of Christ.
True.
And iqale lapha lento incane but iyanda. Uyayizwa leyo?
Yeah.
Umuntu sothi mekhuleka athi uNkulunkulu angisize nabakithi amadlozi akithi angisize. So there's a revival. Ngiya esontweni kufuna ngiphinde ngibuye ngizohlaba. Into ekufuna siyibone ukuthi we have been so much carried away about denominationalism.
Yeah.
And not understanding, should I say, the new denominationalism.
Yeah.
The factionalism that is changing. Nakashembe lo ichazayo. It's the same phenomena that is happening.
Baqale benomprofeti baphethe benonkulunkulu.
Yeah, baqale benomprofeti baphethe banonkulunkulu. Baqale benomprofeti eyodwa sebaningi abaprofeti. I-emphasis yakhona iya ngokuhluka. So iyona into ekufuna ukuthi sifunde. And I want to perhaps challenge you Dokotela Nini enikuma theological institutions. There is a necessity to document African Christianity, if I can put it, and the evolution thereof. Because uma sihleli silwa nalama denominationalism, I think Malandela, the next generation will have nothing to do with church.
But ngicela unibuza bafundisi, making it African doesn't mean we have to mix Christ with abantu asebefile.
No, what you don't understand is that ilento bengiyi-challenge la kudokotela makathi
because bonke abalethi Africa kulento
they were white.
No, sengithi bonke abazama ukuyenza ibe yi-Africa lento bafaka labantu abafile.
Yeah, angithi manje lento engisho ukuthi i-challenge yale perspective ayilethayo udokotela meqala ekhuluma ethi the white missionaries. Ngibalekela leyo nto ngithi kuyena, no, looking from a different view, labantu bamhlophe had an advantage of knowledge before us, and they use the advantage of knowledge
Which knowledge Mathabela? Bible.
Yeah, Bible.
Yeah, we
Yes.
stay first ukuthi these people they use the Bible
I agree
to
with
manipulate abantu abamnyama.
I agree with you dokotela.
Yeah.
Labantu abamhlophe bafika bephethe iBhayibheli balisebenzisa iBhayibheli
Yeah.
uqindezela
Exactly.
umuntu omnyama. Siyavumelana ngalokho.
Yeah.
But indlela mina engikubuka
Statement sokuthi bathatha umhlaba banika izulu yasivuma.
No, Jomo Kenyatta, the first president of Kenya, usho njalo uthi the missionary came with the Bible. Basifundisa ukuthandaza, but let us close our eyes, thandaza. Ma abantu abamnyama bevula amehlo begodla iBhayibheli. Umhlaba usuphethwe ama missionaries. That is true. Even today we are doing our theological reflection on land. Ngoba umhlaba ukho ukuthathwa ama missionaries.
Shuthi iBhayibheli ungekho umhlaba akhamisani akusiza kusiza.
Ngizama ukuphendula lento oyishoyo malandela ukuthi
Sorry kancane ngibuza lo doctor.
Uthi
iBhayibheli umhlaba ungekho uthi akusiza.
what a use. What a use.
Yeah, iBhayibheli.
Uyahamba ezulwini ngicebile kakhulu manginawo Nkosi.
So
Umhlaba ukho kona.
Uthula iBhayibheli khaba umhlaba.
No. Mhlambe uyabona ngoba manje angifuni ukuthi sidiverte kakhulu malandela. Kodwa ungakhohlwa ukuthi approximately 14 August 70 AD makuhlasela iJerusalem. AmaRoma into oqala ayithatha kwangama literature.
Yeah.
And remember the writings were in Rome plus or minus 500 years.
Yeah.
Malibuya.
Usho ngabe imali umphilithi.
Libuya selikhuluma amanye ama languages. But kangifuni ukukhuluma kakhulu. Kodwa selikhuluma enye into selithi slaves obey your masters.
but you know
slaves obey your masters.
The
very same Romans 13 who was used by F.D. Malan, the prime minister of National Party when the National Party won elections in 1948. The very same passage, Romans 13, was
for oppressing black people.
State theology to oppress the blacks. Ukuthi ngoba nina ngama slaves lithi iBhayibheli hloniphani bonke abasemagunyeni.
F.D. Malan wasibuza ngeBhayibheli.
They use he was a Tommy.
Yeah.
The Tommy in a Dutch language, pastor.
Yeah.
So they use the scripture, even the parliament they use the scripture. That's why it's the theology, he cast theology, because we fall under cast theology.
Yeah.
So njengoba sizilive we have to obey the masters. The question ke maliphethwe ifundwa umuntu omhlophe lelo verse ethi the Bible says slaves obey your masters. How would you react? Umuntu omhlophe ofunda leli verse. So ingakho ngithi na indaba le iBhayibheli inhle impela kodwa engathi iBhayibheli singalizeli ngobusondo. Yeah, sizama ukuba critical analysis. Sizibuke ezinye izinto ukuthi lezi izinto zisho ukuthini, because the Romans they ruled the country. They use the Bible,
yeah,
and they manipulate us. Oba umaqhamisela khanyile kwafanele ashintshe wayekade ibutho lenkosi umpande wafanele ashintshe oba uzube ikholwa fanele ushintshe indlela ogqoka ngayo
iphesha awungangena esontweni nephesha
ukuze ube ikholwa uma maqhamisa khanye ngabulawela ukuthi wathi uyongena iklasi uyobhabhatiswa, because umbhabhatiso babe ubeke as what you call a first priority ukuthi kusube iqualify ubhabhatiso.
Yeah.
So ke wafa because he chose uyobhabhatiswa.
Malandela ngiyamuzwa udokotela futhi ngiyavumelana nomqondo eza nawo.
Yeah.
Into engingafuni mina ukuthi ibese iqina into yona yodwa. Ilento yokuthi mesibuka iBhayibheli, I agree with what he's saying completely. Abantu abamhlophe balisebenzisile iBhayibheli ukucindezela umuntu omnyama. But I'm saying bakwazi ukwenza lokho because they had the privilege ukulithola iBhayibheli iqala. Uyayizwa lento engishoyo? Abakakwenzi lokho just because they are white. Bakwenze lokho because they had the privilege. Ngifuna ukuyophendula lo mbuzo obuzayo ukuthi why esiqhubeka engathi kwanda into yesintu ukuhlanganisa amadlozi amathongo with indaba yokukholwa. Ngifuna ukuyophendula lapho.
Yeah.
Ukuthi le enga yethu lokulimala kwethu ngokuthi kusetshenziswe iBhayibheli ukusicindezela kwenza ukuthi neBhayibheli liqale libe yisitha sethu ndlela thizeni. Uma iBhayibheli liba yisitha sethu ndlela thizeni sifuna uku-embrace lokho ukuveza identity yethu. And lokho ukuthi obabamkhulu bebenza isintu bahlabela amadlozi. That is why we have this migration. Le migration efaka ukukholwa nokukhonza kwesintu and a growing percentage of ukukholwa kwesintu with Christianity reducing. Iwona lo mqondo ukuthi we were oppressed. So iqiniso elilethwa iBhayibheli asisakwazi ukulibona kahle ngoba lilinyazwe yicolonization.
Awungitshela iqiniso elilodwa lethwa iBhayibheli.
What do you mean?
Lo ngifuna iqiniso elilodwa. No, don't take.
Ngokubunkulunkulu walithanda izwe kangaka wanikela ke indodana yakhe ezele yodwa ukube yilo nalowo okholwa yiyo angabhubhi abe nokuphila phakathi.
So no njengoba ngizwa ngibuza ngifuna iqiniso elilodwa ngenzela ukuthi ngibona sihambisana nawe yini.
Sengilibekile.
Ngoba phela this white Jesus with blue eyes.
No, the Bible, hold on. The Bible didn't even say Jesus is white. The white man painted Jesus white. You know, if you read the demographics, the possibility that Jesus was black is high. There is manipulation. Yeah. Even on the picture, the devil is black. Yeah. Jesus is white. Okuleta isithombe sokuthi uJesu unjani ungumlungu.
Jews were black.
You see, but Jews are black.
Jews are black.
And the chances that the Jews had hair almost like ours. But they will never paint that. So, ngiyavuma mina ukuthi there has been manipulation.
Yeah.
But ngifuna ukuthi sihlube indlube ekhasini.
Yeah.
We must not just bang, you know the idea of banging the Bible and bending it together with
are we not in danger, Bishop? Yokuthi in the process ukuthi le anger yethu nesesiletha lokhu kungaphilongi kuChrist.
Ilento engishoyo ukuthi we have an anger against the Bible instead of having anger against apartheid. Because you see the Bible was used
abelungu noma apartheid.
It was used as a tool.
Yeah, the Bible was used as a tool.
Yeah.
Kanti phela iqiniso lithi njengoba sonke nje simnyama kanje iBhayibheli livuna olukhulumayo. Uma ngithi iBhayibheli livuna olukhulumayo angangikhiphela amavesi la umalandela.
Yeah.
Athi ezulwini asi njengoba kade kukhuluma uGobhosi. Omunye akhipha amavesi athi siye ezulwini. Omunye akhipha ivesi athi Satan is a person njengathi. Nibuyeni nenithi Satanas. It's a condition. Even God can be Satan. You are still using verses yourselves. Uma ngithi ke livuna engimsho exactly my point.
Interpretation.
So I'm saying ukuthi the wise thing to take from denominationalism moving forward, because even the denominationalism has evolved. It has evolved to practice where kingdom preaching church. It's nothing new, of course. Yabona. Kade kuna Jehovah's Witness emphasize the kingdom. Manje here. And we moved from Protestant to Pentecostalism to charismatic, and now we've moved also to another age, a prophetic age, an apostolic age. Says this figure last dinner akona manje umuntu mabekwiza ukuthi no, I am Dr. Apostle, Archbishop, Reverend, you know, a long sentence of names. When all those things, it's not about the titles, it's about the labor. And we should not be offended to be called brother instead of archbishop or apostle.
True.
Because all of those, they are functions, they are not titles.
True.
Being an apostle is a function, being a teacher is a function. So there's a new set.
Mina ngiyayizwa lento nishoyo ukuthi we are trying to correct whatever that has been given to us or spoon-fed to us, fed to us by abelungu.
Decolonize.
Yes. But singakhohlisana since kuyona leyo correction, we are still influenced by element of abelungu.
It's true. No. In fact, now we.
If you take, you've made an example, ngomfowethu uMakethe.
Yeah.
umfowethu Mageja into yakhe ibuke even uyibuka idlala kuma screens. It's not entirely African.
No, I agree.
There are a lot of things that are influenced by
European.
No, I agree with you.
European theology.
Yeah.
So yes, he will say and ukuthi into yabantu, but a lot of things ezingekho Africa lapha which are found in Europe.
You know,
So in the process of I mean I don't know if it should be careless for me to say we want to regain our identity as Africans, but we are not bold enough to let go of some of him.
Exactly.
I agree.
Precisely.
You know, one of the things.
And if you beg colonization, into yokuqala abayenza, they were bold. It is bold ukufika ezweni lomuntu ufika umnike iBhayibheli uthatha umhlaba wakhe ungakwazi nokubaleka within an hour ufike la uyakhona uzobaleka for months emanzini mase kuthiwa uyajaha. They were bold and hence bawina bakwazi. Thina we are in our land but we are still, I mean, izinto Bishop that are embarrassing kuthina as Africans. I know this is going to be controversial. You find a preacher, Mlazi, preaching to 500 South Africans who are Zulu speakers, preaching in English. And if you ask them, they are preparing to be international. Chinese are in South Africa selling every product you can think of, but they can't speak English. In other words, they are bold. We will keep our Chinese language. Tina, we preparing to be international by confusing people. We are not bold in correcting this challenge.
You know what? Let me put it this way so you'll understand what I'm saying. I hear you and I agree with you.
Yeah.
Why in South Africa is it September? We have this traditional month. Why do we need to wear our traditional attire on a particular day? Kufana lento ngisho nje malandela ukuthi why in South Africa ngo September so we have a traditional day where we celebrate our tradition. Sigqoke kamabheshu ngalelo langa. Sigqoke amahiya, whatever that we wear. Sengazuthi into yethu le wakweza ukuthi abelungu bane traditional day. Ukuthi bawugcoka amasudu ngayo langa.
Because kubona it's every day.
Uyayizwa leyo. Wabona lokho ukuthi sine traditional month.
Yeah.
Sine traditional day. Kusho kona ukuthi sesilahlekile. Umbuzo uthi uma ngiye enkantolo njengommeli ngihlulwa yini ukufaka ijazi lasenkantolo ngiyolwa icase yomuntu ngigqoka isintu? Why is that in a free country with constitution?
Yeah.
Why do we make our Africanism an event? Instead of a lifestyle? Ubukhuluma ngendlela ekubekwe ngayo inkosi ukuthi sifuna ngathi ngaba nento omlungu eyos endorse. Why uma ngabe ngiye enkantolo ngingafici imagistrate igqoka ibheshu izohlulela igqoka ibheshu?
Yeah.
Yini ingane zethu zingakhululeki ukuthi masiye esikolweni sigqoka isintu? Ngoba kwakona lokufaka iuniform.
Kodwa
uyayizwa into ngisho.
Kodwa ingane mase
into siqala ukuyilungisa la ekhanda.
Kodwa ingane aseyifunde njengasemhlangeni ngiyakufunda. Ayikisho ukuthi hayi ngoba ngeke ayikho ingane engafunda eklasini
akulunge kanjani.
Emhlangeni ngiyakufundeka.
Ngeke kufundeke.
Nawe nje uthisha omkhulu wesikole sasemhlangeni nawe kwayiwena ngeke ulalele ngoba emhlangeni I think it was that tradition kodwa asikho kule nto namhlanje kodwa nje ngiyabona
you need to understand ukuthi izinto ezifana nomhlanga kuba umkhosi ophusha agenda ethile. Uyayizwa lento kuba ngumkhosi ukuthi hlala ngentombi. You know, we understand all of those things, but the point that I'm driving is that we should now be free. Yini uma ungafika ugqoke ibheshu Sunday uzoshumayela bazalwane bazophatheka kabi. Kodwa uma ufaka ukhololo bazothi amen. Ngizama ukuthi
yasilimaza
isilimazi lento. And now if we are saying we are going to make a correction, sithi sifuna le identity, asikwazi ukushumayela iqiniso leBhayibheli siyisinto nje. Siqoka isinto. Uyangibona nje namhlanje ngqoke njengesosha ibutho lesosha
SNDF.
Lenza kanjani? Uyayizwa leyo? So kufuna sikwazi ukuthi okay lokhu kuhle siyakuthatha lokhu kubi siyakushiya. And I do concur no Dokotela. We do need to start writing our own theological books. In fact, mangilalela the detail uDokotela ayikhiphile, I feel ukuthi uDokotela naye uyasirobha. This man is a doctor in a university. He must produce a textbook which must get into theological departments all over the country by tabulating this history. I am amazed. Ngisalalela, you will remember date of birth, this event. Lo upapatise ubani. You know this. Some of the things you said, I heard them for the first time. Today. But this is what stalls our African theology, because we have not changed the material.
You see. I think Bishop Matax, the problem that we are facing as Africans, we still need to decolonize our mind. Our primitive brain asenayo into yokubambeka. Kanti iqiniso lithi we are living in a democratic country where we have to express our own views and our own understanding ngendlela sifisa ukwa expressa ngayo. But the challenge that we have these days ukuthi instead sokuthi ngabe siya progressa sibhizi sikhuluma ngezinto zama-denomination engasisi indawo ukuthi ku-wrong bane-denomination isiyenzeka lento. Ubaba uPaulos Mfunwanzuza, he died 17 July 1959, ulayile kuzeni eHammersdale. Waqala ibandla leli kuthiwa ibandla lakamoya, Church of the Holy Ghost. Ola Istenga is one of the city which is rich about history. Because obaba Chief Albert Thula abasestenga eGroundville, obaba uWalter Makhobo Sadimba ngizama ukuveza ukuthi all this stuff kufanele ngabe sihlala etafuleni, but still busy ngo systematic theology. I-African theology sisekude nayo, because even the African theology it came into existence because some Africans sat down, they said no, siyezwa ngalonke okukhulunywa ngayo kodwa asikaka understanding ngendlela yethu as Africans. So let us come with an African theology. How do we view God in our African way? So also the issue of ancestral worship and the issue of worshiping God, I think we must draw the line between the two. Ukuthi ukhonza uNkulunkulu nokhonza abangasekho into embili engafani. But i-veneration okunye, kodwa i-worship okunye. To venerate ukuhlonipha nje ukuthi I miss my father, I miss my mother. Like wonke umuntu kuyamfikela mhlambe abanye kubafikeni. Senzani
awujule. Senzani when you miss your grandfather, you miss your mother.
Some people they make bezizidla mhlamba lunch. Iladi. No, not iladi. Iladi.
Ingathi usufuna ukuhlaba ngegama lokukhumbula.
No. Ngizama ukuveza ukuthi some people, guys, asibuye sikhulume manje with
uma ngikhumbula uma ngenzani
Euro
babe
siya
babe chitane nje ngithi wathi
mara Dlamini asibuke European theology. They go to baphathi ibhali bemathuneni ngosuku lolo awashona ngalo abantu ababo, asazi noma they worship them or they venerate.
Ukhumbule kodwa ukuthi phela nokuthunela kwabelungu ku-organized.
What do you mean organized?
Isengisho ukuthi ukhokho wakho wena mhlambe kini baqala bakwaNongoma,
mhlambe ukhokho
benyuka baye eMtuba,
right,
basuka eMtuba bayoshona eMthwalweni,
right.
So yonke le ndawo kuhambe kuthunwa abantu,
right.
Awusakwazi wena ukuyobeka imbali, ulazi likuphi ithuna khokho wakho
emzini yabantu.
Uyayizwa lento ngisho.
So what
I'm trying to say,
right, mabelungu bobeka imbali.
No.
Uthi ukhokho wakho
ngifuna ukulandela ukuthi wena angithi umlungu uyobeka imbali ngoba uyalazi ithuna likephi. Uyangizwa?
So mangilazi ke
okay, mhlambe ngingakafika eklasini ngoba phela ngenzeka ukuthi ngikhumbula umkhulu. Uyazi ukuthi into yomuntu omnyama inzima kanjani. Umuntu omnyama uzovuka ade kufika omnye ubaba okhuluma kanje
onesiphathi no Matax no asibuye la Matax. Umuntu omhlophe umuntu omnyama, amathunabo ayaziwa. Umlungu uyayithuneni lika baba wakho uyobeka imbali. Wena omnyama ke fanele wenze njani?
Yile ke ngikubuza wena.
No phela wena ngithi manje usangichazela ukuthi mhlambe ngangise kwanongoma ngayapi ngiyawazi
uyazi anginankinga
yeah
nokuthi uyawazi nokuthi nawe uyobeka imbali noma uyofaka iTombstone
yeah
something has changed even in la ekholweni manje umuntu umeshonile
yeah
sesifaka iTombstone
yeah
sibe neTombstone availing
yeah
singama call
yeah
which before was not an issue qala sasikuthatha sikuthune singabuyeli so buya mase
because of ignorance yeah
because of ignorance yeah. Now I'm saying that
so unveiling right
there's nothing wrong about that
hey isikhatha sekho ungibulwa kweche
there's nothing wrong about that
uya nje na uba kumeme uthi umfundisi okhuleka unveiling
ngalivula nje
malandela siyahlukana la angiunderstand ukuthi uma ku-unveilwa itshe lesikolwa awunankinga yojubi reborn
uyathanda ngiyabuza ukuthi niya unveil abantu
there's nothing wrong
I find nothing wrong
there's nothing wrong
kwenziwani ma unveiling
ngalikuyayiwa nje sikhumbuzweni
uyaya kufika
nelembe lamalembe mhla ka24
manini ma unveiling kwenziwa no ngifuna ukusindisa umlaleli ekhaya
lalela ubaba wakho uyashona
yeah
senimncwabile la senihamba nithenga itshe la nilithenge khona elihle babuye balifaka elisikhumbuzo for three things. Number one, you want to remember where your father was buried.
Yeah.
Two, the stone shows your appreciation, you write your messages on it.
Yeah.
Namuhla kuze kukweqe futhi kuthiwe kufakwe nesithombo whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I think that it is petty in the Christian faith to argue about into efana unveiling, which is a prayerful ceremony la kuyosuswa khona indwango ngoba itshe kade limbonyiwe. Phela unveiling ukuthi itshe liselakhiwe sesiyabuya umndeni sekususwa lento kade limbonywe ngayo sesiyalibona.
Kade imbozo kentanga emhlophe suyafika ke. Kwenziwani ke lapha?
Mana akasiqaleke ubuza iTombstone unveiling nombuza iChatstone unveiling ngophela Dlamini unveiling
ngithi Tombstone umuntu oshona
no yeah Tombstone unveiling I'm saying from my perspective and ngiyazi ukuthi we argue about this. I don't think there's anything wrong with the
ukuthi kube khona inkonzo unveiling.
Yes, I don't see there's any problem. Because akayi kuyokhonzwa akayiwa kuyofuna abaphansi. I'm saying ubaba ungcwatshwe la nalitshe balene message ukuthi ngiyamthanda. In fact in my opinion Malandela.
Yeah.
Umuntu onenkinga ngeTombstone unveiling per se.
Yeah.
Akabe nenkinga ngokuthenga ibhokisi elidurile lomzali.
Okay.
You can't argue with the Tombstone unveiling yet you've bought a casket for your mother.
Yeah.
And it's very expensive coffin. Umhlisa ngebhokisi la 200,000. Besithuna lelahleka uthi iTombstone unveiling is wrong. No, that's madness. Umsangano leyo nto.
Bafethu ngoba abelungu bayenza lento akithi nisho njalo.
No they do. Ukemathuleni
kukumbulichi.
Yeah they do.
Yeah.
Thina phosa sishayelana.
Ignorance.
Bakushoba.
No angithi
indlela sayithola kubelungu.
Yes.
Kwaku stage bani.
What you need to understand weMalandela ukuthi thina historically versus sazi ukuthi umuntu meshonile akahambi simlanda nithi umlahla nkosi nini thila sikhule khona sithi umlahla umuntu uma ngabe ushonele la kuzwa nehlahla ufika ukukhulunyisa ufile ukuthi hey Zweli sesiyahamba siye ekhaya Malandela makufika emfuleni sesidlula umfula sesiyangena ekhaya
linganisa ngoJiyane
lana so
linganisa ngoJiyane ayingami akulinganiswa ngami lento ukuthi Zweli usengamahlamvu cabanga ukuthi such a handsome dude ngele ngamahlamvu linganisa ngosiyabo kaJiyane.
You know the idea, hold on,
the idea must be
by Jiyane. The African idea is to bring the soul of the person to come to the home. That's the African idea.
Is that correct?
No, before I even get there.
Yeah.
Missionary mayizoshumayela. Iyazi ukuthi thina sithanda ini
amahlamvu
yeah. So uma ufuna ukufaka inkolo yakhe kufuna ukuthi le practice yethu ibe nokudemonize uyayizwa leyo nto. Mina ngeke angikholwa ukuthi umuntu udinga ukulandwa ngohlahla umlahla nkosi noma umlahla umuntu whichever that
so abelungu bafike basikhuza bathi musana ukulanda abantu.
Yeah, musana ukulanda abantu. And for me it's neither here nor there.
Ukumlanda
it's neither here nor there. Umuntu umeshonile usuka ngekho emgacweni usuka uyidlalela idrama yakho idrama yesintu idrama yesintu lezofika ukukhulumisa
so ayiqabanisi noNkulunkulu kodwa futhi ayikufaki naNkulunkulu.
Ngicanga ukuthi uNkulunkulu meke nibona nilanda umuntu uyahleka athi ingabe nilandani la.
God is bigger than that.
You know.
Aphathwe kabi leyo nto.
Yeah, it can't be
Ukuthi ulandwe ngehlamvu.
Ukhulumisa umuntu ofile uyazi iyahlekisa lento. Umuntu sithi usishile emhlabeni usehambile. Phinde lo muntu ethi usishile siyomlanda emgaqweni. Sibuya naye la ekhaya. Mase la ithuna uhambe kahle mama. Ubheka ekhaya kodwa sithi lo muntu usishile. It's just a confusion that thing.
Yeah.
So but from my perspective, and I know this can be hurtful to others.
Yeah.
From my perspective, it's an unnecessary thing. Apostle Paul
ubani wasiyekisa ukuthi sivule amathuna senza amathuna because for a very long time abakaNkulunkulu
imissioner
bebengayingeni indaba amathuna akuvele ungcwatshuyise la umuntu liduke kanjani ithuna athi vele sohlanganisa ulwini.
Yeah, but remember sibakhulu ukuthi ukhuluma on a different sect of denomination.
Yeah,
the mainline churches
they still keep it. Yeah.
Ayevele kade kwenza.
Yeah.
Yabo mhlawumbe ungakhuluma ngama Pentecostals.
Yeah.
Nama what you call nama
inini nenza leyo nto
ama Pentecostals and charismatic churches.
Yeah.
Bona ke some of them call ukuthi umuntu mayise efile.
Yeah.
Yabo ofileka sena sabelo.
It's true. I think it's very comforting. I believe ukuthi lento yama Tombstone is not necessarily for the dead. It is for your own comfort.
Yeah.
Because umubuka isiko indlela belingayo on African people umuntu bengcwatshwe ekhaya uyayizwa leyo nto.
Yeah.
Into yesilungu to take people to the cemetery. Ukuthi nangu mabuza ulele eqeleni kwaSimelana ulele eqeleni kwaMaseko uyayizwa leyo nto. In our perspective umuntu bengcwatshwa ekhaya abela igqekeni uyayizwa leyo nto.
Yeah.
And I think that abantu abamnyama barobhekile, I think it would be very comforting for me not to ukuthi ngiyakhonza but bengajabula nje mangisekhaya bangitshele ukuthi uyabona leli yake lithuna laba bawakhokho. Kubhalwe negama lakhe. If you ask me today what is the name of my great grandfather, I can't tell you. I don't know his name. His memory is forgotten. Ngikhonza uNkulunkulu angikhonzi yena. But I'm cheated of my own history. Uyayizwa leyo. Umlungu umuya lapha kunomuntu wafa ngo1909. Kubhaliwe ukuthi loving father and husband and what. And the generations that come after can come and say our great grandfather, this is where he's buried. It is comforting for them. And I think ukuthi in decolonizing church, these are things that we must embrace.
Nokuthi okunye obaba bethu bevangeli they accepted evangeli with the aggressive spirit in such a way ukuthi ubaba uJob Chiza kuthiwa nje babefika abazalwane mayefika emzini abazalwane basebandleni mhlawumbe bafaka izithombe zakho dongeni athi isusana uyarabishi lapha uyabo ngoba enento ukuthi futhi bayamkhonza uyabo ubaba uNicholas Bhengu ula amithona kula isinathi eMaritzburg lincike kanje lekankosikazi wakhe omdala uMayilethe Ndlela owashona ngo1971 ngoba uBhengu washona ngo1985 unkosikazi wokuqala umama uMayilethe Ndlela washona ngo1971 ami kanje amathuna apho if uthiwa kwakuya ngesifiso ngamawishes kababa uBhengu ngaba lazi ithuna lakhe ngoba iTombstone wayengafuni ifakwe nendlela ungcwatshwa nje wayengafuni.
In fact I had an old sermon ubaba uBhengu eshumayela athi ningafaka amabloom
washo njalo
athi nifake a cheap wathi
coffee
njenge.
Yes,
because
I have lived like a dog.
Uthi no street must be named after me. You see ukuthi but what I want us to understand ukuthi le aggressiveness yakhe ibangwa ukuthi
ianger
thina sisuka ekukhonzeni abaphansi.
Yes,
uthi asisuke ekukhonzeni abaphansi sikhonza uNkulunkulu. But you must understand ukuthi the body of a person can be so serious that God decided to bury Moses. Even Israel does not know where the tomb of Moses is. Ngoba uNkulunkulu wabona ukuthi lo muntu lo uMose mangathi akwazi ithuna lakhe konke engonakala la. I'll make a very simple example. Kunomprofeti laphana uElisha uyashona ufakwe ethuneni, it's an unmarked grave. kwathi kunempi enye indoda yasibulawa yaphonswa ethuneni
Yavuka.
yathinta amathambo omprofeti ofile wavuka. Uma ngathiwa kunomprofeti uthi mawuletha umuntu ofile emathambeni akhe aphile ngakwenzakalani? Kube kuthiwa mhlambe kunethuna lamosi uthi ungafa sikuphonse khona uvuke.
Singakubiyela kungenwe ngemali.
Ngasakubiyela kungenwe ngemali. So what I'm saying is that
Njengethuna lika baba uPetros Masamba lapha eGoli eJimmy Steel eZuma section lakhiwe kahle. Kuyanikelwa njalo makumgidi yaseChibini St John.
Nikelwa khona lapha.
Yanikelwa.
Icibini.
Khona
sengakanani imali.
Banikela kwa. Iyapi leyo mali?
cha phela iyaqoqwa phela ithathwe kodwa nje ngizama ukusho into oyishoyo ukuthi
Yeah.
uma baphosa umuntu ethuneni lika Elijah wavuka. So nabo bane perspective.
Amashimo laba basechibini akaze kuvuke umuntu. Akhona wavuka.
Lutho kodwa nje lakhiwe lihle impela yabona.
You see what I'm saying is a concept yabo babubhengu was more to remove
People
the veneration
from,
of the dead,
yeah.
which is why they took that position.
Yeah.
Aye.
But yaslimaza le.
But yaslimaza le.
History fanele you must dig ukuze uthole history.
That is why we must grow. And I'm saying I understand what it did, but this is why we must grow as a church.
Yeah.
Uma ngabe manje siseme pulpit silwe ngokuthi usibanibani wenze i-tombstone une unveiling usuyancunywa lo muntu esontweni. I'm saying no man, that is confusion.
Yeah.
I think that is confusion.
No, it's imbecility.
Yeah, I think we must grow. We must grow. Mina nje I think futhi uma ngabe uyakwazi ukuthi bantu bakini ubakhela. Uyabo mangathiwa amathuna wonke akithi ngiyawazi.
Yeah.
Nginemali ngawafaka amatshe wonke.
Ngabe wenza umsebenzi ufaka amatshe usibizi.
Umabona legama lokuletha umsebenzi manje usudala inkinga.
No, ngisho ukuthi i-function.
Malande.
No, sorry. I meant function.
No, it's fine. It's a function. No.
Yeah, but yeah, what I'm saying is ngingathanda ukufaka amatshe. Ngikwazi ukukhomba ukuthi because you know what is very important about graves.
Yeah.
When your identity is in question, you point to the graves. Yazi khona into yakakhulunywa uBishop Nkambule some years ago. Man, I respect him always. Angazi
olokukhulekela wezwe isando.
Yebo, yena
Shayeka phansi.
Yeah. Awukasuki lapho. Yebo.
Umuphi lo mase
lo uthi wezwe isandla
isando.
Yes.
Uthi wambeka wezwe isando. Olomshayeka phansi.
Ngasizwe impela.
Yeah.
Futhi sashaya ngaphakathi ayinala ngaphezulu. But the point
ungamlaleli kakhulu Jiyane.
No, ngiyamazi ukuthi amadimoni abuya.
Abonje lethe yabonje manje ufuna kutrend uthi wena washawa ngesandla.
But the most important thing that I want to refer to is that there is, I don't know what the talk was about. Yeah. And he ended up saying, and these things of graves, they will settle disputes with sekubanga umhlaba. Uma sekuthiwa umuntu hayi lo mhlaba wami athi ngeke kube wakini.
Athi kuleli umkhulu.
Lelithuna la kuleli umkhulu.
Yeah.
The graves are now a testimony of the demarcation of the land and point to an inheritance. So if we look at it from that perspective and move to say, we are mthandaza, I mean, I will not lie. If I knew all the graves of my forefathers, I will go up to Malawi to put a tombstone for my great-grandfather. Amphat Nyasa, my mother comes from there. Amphat Zulu, my great-grandfather comes from there. Swati, my father comes from there. I will put all the graves so that I can show my children and my grandchildren and say, listen, you are who you are. This is where you come from. I tell the history from the graves. It's painful to me that I don't know the name of my great-grandfather. I don't know his name. But I know John Knox and I know Martin Luther.
No Tyler.
You see, this is what I'm saying.
Wangibuza uMageja uthi ngangamphupha yena uMosi. I think nevumelana naye manje.
Ukuthini?
Wathi ngamphupha yena uMosi. Kufanele
manje sivumelana kanjani
noMageja? Mathabela manje. Yokukhala ukuthi wazi Martin Luther. Wena ufuna ukwazi oleyo.
No.
Ngiyahlala.
Ngiyabotha ufuna ukungidayisa.
Ngiyaqova nje lo ufuna
ukuqova no Jiyane. Futhi uqala wathi umsebenzi.
Uthe ufuna umsebenzi wababo wakho. No guys, sesiyahamba isikhathi sesiphelile guys.
Yeah.
But I think we've spoken very well. asidedele ukuthi nisho ama closing remarks isikhathi sesiphelile bese siyagoduka.
Well, asibonge malandela. Ngiyafisa ukubonga kakhulu uNkulunkulu ukuthi esizweni sakithi kaZulu wasilethela ubaba uIsaiah Shembe uMdlwamafa waqala ibandla Nazareth Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Sibonga ubaba Job Chiliza Kayele waqala ibandla lama African Gospel Church. Sibonga ubaba William Duma ibandla laseBaptist washo ngo1977. Sibonge babu Zakaria Ntanzi owa Letty Faith Mission la eNatal.
Yeah.
Sibonge ubaba uNicholas Pengu Hepworth Bheka Inkosi owaqala iAfrica Back to God under Assemblies of God. I can name them. Obaba Paul Mabilisa, obaba Ezra Bonambi, phela ubaba uNtanzi waphenduka kubaba Ezra Bonambi. So I can name them. But siyambonga uNkulunkulu well ukuthi kwaba nama denomination siyambonga futhi uNkulunkulu ngalokho because ngaba sikho ukube babe ngekho lapho baba labo empilweni zethu. Hopefully kuzosiza we learn kancane size sifinyelele ekuthini kube khona the interface between the Christians and the Nazareth Baptist Church because we singabantu bandawonye. That's my take. Singabantu bandawonye. Mang understand the theology mina kaShembe singabantu ndawonye. So there's no need to ukuthi singalokho sikhwebhana sizondana. So that's my take. So nje siyambonga uNkulunkulu kakhulu. Yeah. But uJohn Dilake wahamba ngo1913 wahamba for court esebelezweni labo. Kodwa eseshiya imess kodwa sexoxa ilanga.
FM yeah with Truth and Reconciliation.
Yeah.
TRC.
Yeah, with Truth and Reconciliation.
Like all other churches.
Yeah.
Musani ulibele ndakana nesonto lami. To account for some of the things ezirong ezenzeka esontweni.
Yeah.
Like aleleleni isonto nelakini. So
ngokwenza
clear kube ngathi manje
Stellenbosch University asetshenziswa as one of the key theological institution for perpetuated apartheid.
Yeah. So ke angifuni kube ngathi ukuthi manje iAFM yodwa no nawe namabandla. Kodwa ke thina hamba ubheke lapha kuma minutes eTRC we are on record. Silungisa inhlabathi esayenza ne participation eyenzeka by our forefathers. You understand? Sak admit hamba ku documentiwe. Angifuni kube ngazi ukuthi manje no, not that I'm exonerating them, but
you like your denomination?
Well, yeah.
Ay malandela
mina yonke konke kunenkinga zakhona ngiyayithanda njengale yakhe inenkinga neyakho angiyazi yakhe kuphi kodwa le yakho nje ngoba nawe assemblies bakuchitha manje but ke kubo wakhona
angithi mina malandela perhaps as my closing remarks and the Pharisees came to Jesus and said, what is the greatest commandment? And and Jesus quoted Deuteronomy 6:5. What you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your strength, and with all your might. This is the first and greatest commandment. And then second is like the first one. You shall love your neighbor as you love yourself. Then he says, in these two, all the law of the prophets hang. And this is what I have to say. We have too many unnecessary differences. Uma iBhayibheli lonke ungalithatha ulifake kublender kophuma lenkomishi ezimbili. Thanda uNkulunkulu ngamandla wakho onke. We should be busy loving God and loving our neighbor. That's all the Bible wants to give us. Not theological exegesis, doctrinal emphasis, and all of those things. I think the idea of God with all of this is just to try and achieve one thing. Wothanda uNkulunkulu wakho ngamandla akho onke. And I pray ukuthi uNkulunkulu asize sidlule ku-denominationalism, ku-factionalism, and all sorts of isms, and focus on one principal thing. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your mind, and all your strength. And the second commandment, love your neighbor as you love yourself. These two commandments do not need me to know 2 Peter, 3 Peter, Revelation, explaining all of this. Jesus, whom we believe is the Messiah, said, in these two, the whole book is closed. And those are my closing remarks. First and second commandments. That should be our focus. Not all these theological differences. Let's talk about how do I show that I love God. Let's talk about how do I love you to see the God I love. That's my point. Period.
Thank you so much. Asibonge kakhulu bazalwane. Thank you so much. Sibonge kakhulu nakubafowethu. Thank you bafowethu. What a show. Akukho ungakhulumanga la. Okunye bekukushe endlebeni zethu kodwa sesikuzwile. It's been 2 weeks sihleli nengcezu zikaNkulunkulu. Nizwele nani kuvela nokuthi esicabanga ukuthi abekho ebuKristwini kanti sakusaba nabo ebuKristwini. It will be interesting to find those abantu baseKristu kodwa bengaphandle njengamaNazaretha. Mhlawumbe udokotela futhi uyabazi, mhlawumbe sekuchallenge akayona dokotela ukuthi usitholele some of those people because we want to learn about these different denominations. Lama fight esiba nawo lapha makusemlindelweni ngalabo 10 minutes talk esuke singabazi. I think azophela if we understand where we come from. Inhloso ukuthi siunite umzimba kaKristu. So thank you for tuning in. Sizobonana ngesonto ezayo. To our crew, thank you 760 crew for making this broadcast a success. Ama-sponsors ethu siyabonga kakhulu for the never ending support. Abazalwane bonke siyabonga kakhulu. uNkulunkulu akanibusise nonke nilale kahle. Kuningi osekukhulunyiwe la. Abanye lo Mathabela bezimisebenzi amatshe oJiyane abongo ubani umqalo wendlela baba umqalo wendlela. Ziningi ubani uyabona wazi ngisho into zakhona. Ungakuphi Jiyane? Asikujukeni ifakele lika Jiyane liya confuse. Okay, bazalwane siyabonga. Good night. Useyaphuma kadlamini umntwana. Yeah. Sizafuna ukuhlala nemfoka mqambo wendlela la. Good night.